Hi there, just a very quick video from E30 Steel just to show the E36 diff mounts that we manufacture and sell. So basically these are designed to go over the E30 chassis. I can send photos of exactly how they fit on the car and images, so that's no problem at all, but I just sort of talk you through exactly what parts they work with. So these Powerflex bushers are, obviously there's the PF number. So they're for an E36 328i medium case diff rear cover, and they come obviously from Powerflex. They come as you see them, exactly like this. You have a chamfered side one side, flat side the other. The flat side obviously goes against the aluminium boss. The aluminium boss pushes through the center, and then the chamfered side faces the actual steel part of our kit. So in the kit we actually sell the bolts. So we supply the bolts that you need to bolt the thing together. We supply also a intermediate washer that goes on basically that side of it. I mean, you can upgrade the washer and go slightly wider on the washer if you'd like, but the whole point of the bush is it's actually pushing against the actual box section. So we supply, this is 3mm box section, so that's been cut around the E30 chassis, so that actually notches over the E30 chassis, and you actually remove the original E30 bush hanger, so the rear diff bush hanger. You grind that off completely. The rear chassis of the car basically is that shape, the shape that we've created in the box section. You weld this all the way around on the chassis rail on the boot floor of the car, and then you can weld all the way around there as well, so it's a full weld all the way around the whole item. We then sell or send, you can see inside there, there's that's a nylon bushing this time, but we actually make them round bushing bosses in steel sometimes as well, depends on who we get to manufacture them. But long story short, if it's nylon, just push it out of the box section before you do any welding, and then slip it back in afterwards. That nylon bush is just there solely to stop the pipe from actually being crushed as you do it up. So you can see it's just a machine nylon bush in there, same size as the bolt hole. So as you nip the bolt up, it won't crush the box section. Box section is 3mm wall through a 3mm wall. That's actually twice the thickness as the original E30 chassis. The original E30 chassis was 1.5. So with the washer in place and the bolt through the center, you can then put that, imagine this bush is in your diff cover, you can put your bolt through there, bolt it all up together, put your nut on. Once that nut's in place, so you can imagine your chassis is like that. So this is basically the diff cover with either side of it. So the kit comes with two of these, so it's a twin hanger diff mount, and then we then supply the load plate as well. So the load plate is designed to come up to the chassis on this hanger, up from underneath, spot weld to the chassis underneath, which this tube is notched around, so it spot welds and spread the loads. And then you can then seam weld down the side of the box section, joining the box to this, and it just stops a little bit of axle tramp. So as you can see there, you can obviously get the you do a seam weld along the top here, so seam weld along the top, seam welds down the sides. You can spot weld them to the chassis rail, and away you go. So the only thing that the kit isn't supplied with in this video is the Powerflex bushers. Okay, so you can buy these off eBay, they're about 45 quid, not very much. That's the PF number for the correct part, and those bushers basically work with the steel parts and these weld-on parts. I will obviously do some photos for the listing of these as well, so obviously you can watch this video explain. It's pretty self-explanatory how it all goes. Just welds to the bottom of your E30 chassis like this, so you end up with this either side of the rear axle, if you can imagine, so either side of the differential. and then these load plates obviously welded onto the chassis. So this side is the rear of the car. Okay, so that just goes onto there like that and weld on. So like I say, the kit doesn't come with the bushers, but it comes with these two plates, these two box sections, the two machined bosses in there, whether it be nylon or steel. Check before you weld, because if they're nylon they'll melt. Comes with the bolts, the washers to go inside, the cap head bolts, which are the high grade 12.9, so they won't shear or break, and then a nylock nut and washer that side as well. So that basically reinforces the rear end. These plates are 3mm as well, and they just allow for everything to be beefed up and strengthened up. Seriously, you'll never rip these out of the car, you'll never cause any damage to it. So this kit works with an e36 328 manual or 328 auto diff rear cover. So it's the rear cover of the diff, the aluminium part that these two bushes go in. That bolts directly onto a e30 325 325 diff. So it's the 188 diff, which is called the medium case diff. And then when you use that rear cover, you have to also run the speed sensor on the differential as well. So what you have to do is take the center of the diff out, which is literally pop off the side flanges either side, undo the 6 bolts on the side of the differential, and then pop out the outer bearing housings, and the center of the diff will just come straight out the middle of the diff. You knock off the speed sensor, which is pressed fit onto the side of the diff. You put the e36 speed sensor on there, and then once that's back on the e36 speed sensor, you pop the center of the diff in, pop your outer bearing housings in, do the 6 bolts up either side, and pop your drive shaft flanges in. So it's a pretty straightforward conversion, but it offers obviously twin hanger and Powerflex stiffened bushers at the rear end, as well as stiffened metal work by double the thickness of what the factory items are. So as you see, I'll just remove this. So we take the bush out of the equation. This is exactly what you'll get. You'll get the box section, the bolt, the nuts, 2 washers, and the plate times 2. Okay, so that's what will be involved in the kit when you get it. I'll do some upload some photos as well, so you can see the actual kit fitted in place, and it just literally reinforces the rear end of the car. Thank you, cheers. Thanks for taking the time to look at the video, and if you've got any questions, by all means please ask. If you'd like to place an order and actually have us supply the bushers at the same time, just specify. We'll add the difference in price to the kit itself, and we'll order the bushers at the same time and send everything out, so it's a, you know, fit everything all at once job. All right, cheers, take care, E30 Steel.